Good evening, folks. We are back here at Marion Harding High School Stadium with Week 4 of football action. If you joined us last week, you saw a very, very exciting game in which the Prexies won in overtime. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, usually, there's only 2 people standing on screen, and today there's 3. Well, Coach Cameron and I had so much fun when he did the Delaware Hayes scrimmage with us, and Coach Keplinger and I always have so much fun when we do this. We thought we would do a good old-fashioned Monday Night Football and have 3 guys here. So joining me tonight are Mr. Scott Cameron, science teacher at Marion Harding High School, and Mr. Corey Keplinger, a social studies teacher at Marion Harding High School. So, Coach Keplinger, we'll start out with you. What do you think we're going to see tonight with the Prexies and the Warriors of Ontario?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of the same that you saw from last week, at least from the Ontario end. It's a team that not quite as big as Newark, but they have a playmaker in that number 11. He kept showing up, and all the talks I've had with the coaches, so look for them to key on number 11 when they need a big play.
Yeah, for those of you guys who watched Harding football last year and you remember T.J. Jefferson, I was talking to a couple coaches this week, and they said number 11 for Ontario reminds them a lot of T.J. Jefferson. From what you've seen this year, Coach Cameron, what do you think are Marion Harding High School's strengths as a football team?
I tell you, the thing that's really carried us this far has been the defense. Even when our offensive plays have been struggling, our defense has really been carrying us, and that is very typical of a lot of schools around the MOAC. They have a great defense. The offensive plays are developing in the league, but in particular for Harding, our defense is great. It's top-notch. We struggle, yes, with the deep fly routes in the corner, and I know that might be a struggle with that tonight. However, I have talked to a couple players, and they said they do have a plan to stop this number 11, and their quarterback is a sophomore. He's very dynamic. That's going to be something that's going to be important tonight, and we got to keep running the ball.
Well, and I think it's safe to say that when you look at the 3-game slate that we start with Mount Vernon, we went to Jonathan Alder, which is a very, very disciplined ball team, and then we played Newark. I think it's safe to say that we're going to play some talented teams this year and some talented kids, but I don't know if we're going to play a group of kids that are as talented as what we saw last week at Newark. What are your thoughts on that, Coach Keplinger?
Yeah, I mean, I think MOAC top to bottom, the rest of the schedule, they're solid teams, but as far as pure athleticism, I don't know if it's going to get any better than what you saw with those running backs at Newark last week. So,
absolutely, folks. So this will be the first time that the Prexies and the Warriors of Ontario play an MOAC action. We are here at the second game on the brand new turf, and the 2 wins the Prexies have had this year haven't come easy. They have come in the last second of the ball game and in overtime. So here's hoping tonight's a little easier sledding for the Prexies. What are your thoughts, Coach Keplinger, on what we saw last week as far as offensively from the Prexies? Some of the packages they threw out there.
Right. Yeah, they threw a lot of size out there with Colin Hill and Quave Booker.
Sure.
I look for them to stick with that all season long. So,
absolutely. And Coach Cameron, when we were here in the scrimmage, we saw Mitchell Frederick Myers, as you christened him.
Yes.
We saw him throw some really good balls, and then he actually got the start last game, and he played pretty nice. Up to this point, from what you've seen from Mitchell Myers, what do you think we're going to see tonight from that young man?
I tell you what, I think they're going to set up a lot of plays. They're going to give him quick success, maybe quick outs, 5-yard outs, something of that nature, maybe screen passes. Mitch is a natural quarterback. He's a natural leader. He doesn't play any of the other positions necessarily, but he's a natural quarterback. He's a great athlete. He's a great athletic thinker. I think if we put him in a quarterback, we're going to have Noah on the outside or in the backfield, and we're going to try and get some quick plays that give us a lot of dynamic offense right off the bat.
Well, the great thing about Mitch being a quarterback is when Mitch is at quarterback, Noah's at wide receiver. And Noah can also go quarterback. Noah
Correct.
is a dynamic athlete. I mean, last week, if you watched the Prexies play, Noah was responsible for a fantastic scramble that got the ball down to the 1-yard line, which then allowed Colin Hill to do what Coach Keplinger called as a grown man play. Folks, if you haven't watched it, get on HHS Telecom on YouTube. Please watch that play, one of the best plays we've seen in a while. So with that being said, folks, we will be back with Week 4 action. Once again, we got 3 of us in the box tonight, so hang on tight for lame jokes, but a lot of fun, folks. We're going to watch the Prexies take on the Warriors of Ontario when we come back with a Harding High School Telecom production.
Go Prexies.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's flag raising is in honor of Gary McAfee, who passed away earlier this month. Mr. McAfee dedicated his life to the community of Marion. Whether it was his service to the Y-Men, Harding Music Boosters, Friends of the Marion Public Library, Salvation Army, or Marion County Sheriff's Office, Mr. McAfee left his mark on Marion. He is most remembered for his love and dedication to the Boy Scouts. His involvement lasted for 75 years and touched so many young people of Marion. Nearly 100 Scouts earned their Eagle rank because of his leadership. Tonight, we remember Mr. Gary McAfee. As you are standing, please join the Harding Area District Scouts in the saying of the Boy Scout Oath. Scout salute. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. We will now observe a moment of silence for Mr. McAfee. Thank you. And now please direct your attention to the flagpole in the north end zone as Tyler McAfee, a fourth-generation Eagle Scout, raises our flag to the national anthem.
All right, folks, and once again, we are here, and we are back for the second game on the brand-new Harding High School turf. And once again, folks, we're going to try something new tonight. We have three of us in the booth, Dandy Don Meredith, Howard Cosell, and who was the third one on the original Monday Night Football?
Gifford.
Frank Gifford. We are not them, but we're certainly going to try.
Win the toss. They defer to the second half. Take choice there.
Who was that on the return there, Coach Cameron? Did we see?
I did not catch the number. I apologize, Coach Snyder.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Al.
We're so excited trying to remember the names of the original Monday Night Football guys. We can't even remember. We don't even know what Harding kid caught the ball.
I tell you, that was a great tackle by Ontario, grabbing the foot, because if he did not grab that foot, he had a lane, and he might have been gone on to the races for 6 points.
And look at that, Coach Keplinger. Who comes out at quarterback?
Mitchell Frederick
What was it,
Myers.
Mitchell Frederick Myers.
Mitchell Frederick Myers. Little fake toss underneath, counter handoff to, I believe that was Colin the Hammer Hill.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how Ontario stops the run game. They look like they have quite a bit of size up front, but their secondary, their middle third, I don't know. But I can definitely see that they're quite stocky, especially up the middle. I think they're going to try and fight fire with fire there. Jet sweep, stopped.
Nothing doing there on the jet sweep. So just like you and I talk about so much, Coach Keplinger, that first down play is very, very important. Very, very important.
Well, I think Coach Snyder and Coach Keplinger, what we're really going to see here, we're kind of being safe. We're kind of giving Mitchell Frederick Meyer a little bit of taste. He's getting in the game. We're looking to pass here, maybe break him in a little bit.
Actually, Coach, I believe that's Mr. Noah Thompson.
Oh,
Oh! Just off the fingertips. And just like that, the Prexies start out with a 4 and out. Colin Hill is back to punt.
I tell you what, I've been very impressed lately with Colin Hill at punt. He's been kicking some great kicks. What do you think about that, Coach Keplinger?
Yeah, no doubt. He's 3 or 4 within the 20 last week, so definitely been very effective on the special teams part of play as well.
All right, Colin Hammer Hill is back to punt the football.
Sweet Shoe Smith is a gunner. See if he makes a play. Oh, he gets stopped.
Ball takes a bounce, picked up by number 35 for Ontario.
I don't see a 35 on the roster, though.
I don't see a 35 on their roster. Coach Keplinger, what's this young man's name since we don't know who he is?
Yeah, that's the next Chet Westerfield from last week. He transferred, so.
What are the odds of a Chet Westerfield for Newark and a Chet Westerfield for the Warriors of Ontario? So the Prexies don't get much done offensively, and they find themselves in looking at pretty good field position for the Warriors of Ontario.
I like the sportsmanship by Drake Fassion before they went down and got set, giving the team high five. What'd you like to see out of our boys? There's a play at number 11. Little out bubble screen. That's what we were worried about, Coach Snyder. His name's Ethan Pasante.
Number 11 for Ontario. Folks, there was nothing special about that pass. There was nothing special about that throw. The Prexy defense on that one just took some poor angles and allowed that ball to go straight in the end zone. The touchdown for the Warriors is Ethan Pensante.
You know, I think it's kind of an interesting play with that was we thought, you know, with that height and the size and what they've been doing to us lately, what teams have, they might go out and deep. Instead, they set up a little bubble tunnel screen, and there it went.
Last week, a blocked PAT was good luck for the Prexies. Prexies got through on that one and almost blocked it. So just like that, folks, the Warriors of Ontario score on their first offensive play. We'll be back after this with a Harding High School Telecom production.
Go Prexies.
Awards, or even general awards based on financial need. No, money doesn't grow on trees, but at Marion City Schools, we can help you plant the seeds of success by guiding you towards a wealth of scholarship money. At Marion City Schools, your future begins today.
This is me, and this is my teacher, Miss C. She's so great. She teaches me a lot of good stuff. She taught me that everything I do starts with me. I'm in charge. She taught me to have a plan and make sure I do all my work before I play.
And folks, we are back from our first commercial break where early in the game, the Warriors of Ontario hold a 7-0 lead on the Marion Harding High School Prexies.
This is going to be a really important return right here. We have to set a tone. Great angle. We have blockers. See the lane. Tell you what, Coach Keplinger, that's 2 great shoelace tackles in a row on returns.
Yeah, no doubt. Fraker, took one to the house on offense, I think 85, 90 yards last week, so definitely very skilled tackling there.
Well, if there's one thing Freight Train Fraker has, it is speed. So the Prexies find themselves in a little better field position right here, a little better field position than what they were before. Noah Thompson back at quarterback in the shotgun with Colin Hill beside him.
Cornbread's got to make some plays here, and we got to get some plays going with Mr. Hill here as well. Positive play.
Well, and like you and I talk about all the time, Coach Keplinger, we're going to be staring at about 2nd and, I believe, 2 or 3. Makes it a lot easier calling offense with that, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, especially how they're going with that weight in the backfield, right? They're going that big package. So, definitely let you do what you want to do and, run your offense. So.
Well, and Noah Thompson stays in the game. moves out to wide receiver as Mitchell Frederick Myers comes in, and Quave Booker is deep at tailback.
Great carry, great strength, carrying it forward. I tell you what, Coach Snyder, you look. I'm waiting for Mitchell Frederick Meyer. Every play's been there. Quarterback has been a run play. Eventually, they will go to some sort of play action pass.
Well, and if you're Ontario and you're preparing against the Prexies, when Noah Thompson's in there, you're going to expect a little more athleticism, maybe a little more razzle-dazzle, maybe a little more of a running quarterback, whereas Mitch is more of a traditional quarterback.
If you look at their cornerback on Thompson right now, on Cornbread Thompson, see how he's cheating in on the inside. He's looking for the run.
Little backside guard pull. Quave Booker pops it up to about, I believe, picks up about a tough 2 or 3.
But it's a positive first down play, Coach Snyder, and I think that's really what we need to focus on, making sure our plays are positive. We got to get at least 3-4 yards every time we run the ball. Set up in a tight I formation. Be a good time for a play action possibly. See the corner cheating in. Coach Keplinger, there's that big tall and that big size you were talking about in the pregame.
Yes.
That was great insight, Mr. Keplinger. Hey, but it sets us up for a 3rd and short.
Noah Thompson back at quarterback and 3rd and short, and you got to believe that this is going to be 4-down territory.
At this point, it might be just set a tone. But I don't know, Coach Snyder, at this point. Collins a great punter. Do you want to try and pin him down maybe inside the 10 or take that risk? 4th and 1. You got a big back like Collin, Mr. Utility.
Well, Coach, they're definitely going to go to I-backs here.
Absolutely. Tie I again, lead to the right. Yeah. Oh, and the fumble. It looked like it hit Hill right in the stomach and it just bounced right out.
So just like that, the Prexies turn it over, and 7 minutes into this ball game, nothing seems to be going the Prexies' way. I think in a situation like that, Colin Hill just saw the hole before he realized he had the ball.
I'm interested to see what play they run. I tell you, if I were Ontario, I'd run the same exact play.
Well, we got 11 and 11 down here. So we'll see what the Warriors do here on this.
Blue out bubble. Great stop. Great stop by defense. And you know what? Gang tackle. 3-4 guys right there.
I do believe that Dejon Smith will be blanketed on Mr. Ethan Pensante all night.
Ontario looks like they run a very normal spread offense, contemporary-wise. They get to the line, then set up your play. It's kind of unusual to see a high school team do that, but they do. Halfback dive out of the shotgun.
So it looks like after some early jitters, after an early mistake, the Prexies defense settles in, and it's looked like the Prexies defense we've been watching all year. Checking out of the game is number 52, young C.J. McKinney.
4 wide receivers wide. Great line pressure. Great line pressure. I tell you what, after that first mistake, I'm wondering if some butts got chewed out and kind of woke us up a little bit. Man, we came out on fire there, Coach Snyder, on defense.
Coach Kepler, were we watching the game last week? How many sacks did we see Drake Fascione have?
Yeah, he was in on at least 3 or 4 of them there. And, really surprised on that series to see this Ontario team, go in between the tackles there after having so much success. Well, maybe one blown play there, but, when you find that success outside and completely don't go to it on the next drive, very interesting. And this punt
here we go.
is blocked.
Drag him
Then
in.
they go.
And that's
They
a
sure do.
touchdown.
Yep.
Touchdown, Prexy.
Cody Harris got in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe much like Coach Keplinger just said, folks, that was Cody Harris. So let me tell you something real special about Cody Harris. Cody Harris found out today that unfortunately his grandmother passed away. And Cody Harris makes a big play right there. So young man, I know your grandma's in heaven smiling at you, and I know your parents are proud of you right now. Great job, Cody Harris. That's a fantastic play, young man.
His team is congratulating him and all over him, too. Great emotional play.
Well, folks, that is what sports are all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Coach Keplinger, who is that just made the PAT?
Yeah, that's Savion Green Shoes Tyler on the PAT. One of our soccer players actually had a goal and an assist in a soccer game earlier this week, so he is doing it all.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Mr. Panamarzik today, one of the other assistant principals at Marion Harding High School, and he said he went up to Savi and he said, "Hey, Savi, does it hurt?" And Savi looked at him kind of weird, right? And he goes, "Well, what do you mean, Mr. P?" And he goes, "To have all that ice water in your veins." Because I'm telling you, Coach Keplinger, I was in tears up here. We were yelling. I don't know about you, but I couldn't talk all day Saturday.
Yeah, I sent the video out to some friends, and they said, "What was that noise at the end? Did a cat run into some misfortune, or what exactly was going on last week?" But good for him. Kid works hard. He's splitting time. He's doing his walkthroughs. He's doing his special teams with Coach Williams. He's working his butt off on a soccer pitch for us. So couldn't ask for a kid with any more of an engine. So.
Well, and Coach, I actually ran into a soccer coach for Pleasant last night, and he got to talking about some of the great kids that play soccer for Harding, and he specifically brought up Mr. Tyler and how impressed he was by that young man. And Savi's just a good young man, no doubt about it. Little laundry on that.
Yeah,
little laundry on that.
I have a feeling this is going to be on Ontario. Look like a block in the back.
Well, and guys, just to go back a little bit and talk about Cody Harris, right? Cody Harris, Coach Keplinger, had a fantastic, huge play last week. He blocked the PAT. So his block of the PAT is what, so here's a young man that it just goes to show you that you can always make something special happen, and you can make it happen on special teams, right?
Oh, that's why they call it special teams, isn't it? Special things happen on special teams there. So we got the blocked PAT, as you mentioned, and obviously a scoop and score right there with the muff punt. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Absolutely. And you know what, folks? Right now, let's just pretend it's a 0-0 score, because it is. And the good thing is the Prexy can shake off that early mistake and let that defense come out roaring.
Yes.
Little jet sweep to Mr. Ethan Pasante. And coming up is number 4. That is none other than Cornbread Thompson.
Cornbread Thompson.
Running the alley like an alley cat.
I'm really looking for Sweet Shoe Smith. Haven't seen him make a play yet. He's going to at some point tonight.
Those are sweet shoes.
They are sweet shoes.
They are sweet shoes.
They're very beautiful.
Coach Keplinger, could you get away with wearing those?
I can't get away with anything more than a backwards baseball cap. So.
That's a totally 90s thing, Coach Kep. A little backwards baseball cap.
Oh, here it is.
Here it is. He's throwing it deep to Mr. Pasante.
And he did not hold on to it.
And listen, folks, that was good closing speed by Dejan the Bomb Smith.
Yeah, Dejan Smith, everyone knows It's no secret between Ontario and Marion. Dejon Smith is going to really get tested tonight. And I tell you what, Ontario made a great play of the fake in, came out on the fade, almost completed it, and Smith made a great play to break that up, kept his hand in there, fighting for the ball. Way to go.
Well, and when you look at the stat sheet, Ethan Basante is 6'1", and Dejon is 5'10", so definitely giving him some height there. We saw a little bit last week.
Yes, sir. Here it is. Backside screen.
Oh.
Big play.
Well, and I'll tell you what, sniffing out that screen was Colin, the Hammer Hill, and he didn't make the tackle, but he slowed him up just enough to allow the pursuit of the rest of the defenders come down and get him. So the defense has settled down and has made some plays. So now we'll see what the offense can do. The offense, their first drive, there wasn't much doing. Their second drive was okay, but they had that turnover.
Hold on, Coach Snyder.
Got to protect the ball a little
bit. They still have to kick the ball.
They still have to punt.
They still have to kick the ball. The funny thing is, on that kick, if you were able to go back and rewind that play, they put Cody Smith, they put Cody on his butt. They made sure they went after him. So it's interesting, we pointed out the last week, big block tonight. They specifically went after him.
Well, and you know what? When they put 2 or 3 guys on you, that means you did your job. So good job, young man, Cody Harris.
Wasn't it Steve Belisari for Ohio State who made 2 or 3 block punts before he became a quarterback or something of the sorts? And I believe he was a special teams player his freshman year, made 2 or 3 big blocks, and that's how he got his input on the team.
Absolutely. Quave Booker, a quarterback, throws a strike 2, and that was just a great defensive play by number 33,
Lyle Scott, who is listed as a wide receiver for them.
So Coach Wessler kind of trying to dial up a few different things here in this ball game. 3 minutes and 11 seconds left. The Prexies are staring at a 2nd and 10.
Tell you one thing, it's nice to see Coach Snyder, as Ontario did bring a pretty decent group of people from Ontario. Nice group. Good carry. Looks like it'll be 4 or 5 yards. That's what you need to make it a 3rd and reasonable.
Absolutely 3rd and manageable. Calling the Hammer Hill with like you said, the scoreboard says it's
3. Sure looked like
7.
a 4-yard run to me.
Sure looked like a 4-yard run to me, too.
Do we have any eye doctors that sponsor Marion Harding Athletics?
I have no idea, Coach
This
Cameron.
is your opportunity, those who are out there and eye doctors.
A little bit of laundry on that. You got to believe where it was thrown from the back judge. That's got to be a holding call. And as we mentioned last week, like the Beatles said, you can't do that.
And you can't let me down.
So here we go. We got Coach Cameron in the box now, and we're just getting some cheesy Beatles puns. When it's, Coach Keplinger and I lots of times come at you with a little bit of Saved by the Bell, some 80s puns.
Get by with a little help from my friends. So
he gets by with a little help from his friends, folks.
As we thought they would do, Ontario did not want the penalty. Make them kick the ball on 4th down. Tell you, DeMonte Smith, Sweet Shoe Smith, made a great play. I tell you what, Colin Hill is usually a very surefire, tall kicker. That one was a little flat, went right to the receiver, but Sweet Shoe Smith was right there to make sure he planted the receiver for about half second. That allowed the rest of our shooters and runners and gunners to get down there. and make the tackle. Way to go.
Well, and besides that early mistake, I like our defense's chances with them pinned against their own end zone. And we would be remiss tonight if we did not mention that we have Little Cheer going on tonight. There are lots of young ladies out there cheering and having a good time with the cheerleaders of Marion Harding High School. Just a neat thing to see these young girls do in front of a big crowd.
Passing on the torch, continuing the legacy of greatness at Harding High School.
On a first down, a hole opens up, and Wilson for Ontario gets about a 5 or 6 yard carry, and Gabe, the detonator, Detweiler, with the tackle.
Yeah, they've been setting up. This is about the 6th or 7th play I've seen where they spread out their offensive linemen. They go 4 wide with the back in the field.
Oh, and on the field is
hit.
What? A little bit of laundry.
Yep. Looking for a hold. That's right in that area, right in the middle of the line where round holding takes place. I just hope it's not some sort of face mask. There you go.
Not a face mask, but a little more holding laundry. It'll be half the distance to the goal, which will make it 2nd and 11.
Looks like 2nd and 9, Coach Snyder.
Okay, 2nd and 9. Well, hey, listen, Coach Keplinger and I, we're social studies teachers, okay, Mr. Cameron? Not science teachers.
Well, it said 2nd and 9 on the board.
Our minds aren't quite as mathematical.
Oh! Great swat. I don't see who it was because I can't see the number.
Ladies
Cody
and gentlemen,
Harris.
Cody the Hunter Harris.
That kid's all over the field tonight, right, Coach Keplinger?
Yes, sir. Doing it all. Defense, special teams.
He's like the J.J. Watt of Harding High School.
He's so good, he's actually Kirkland Hawkins, as the PA system just said.
So we're wrong. That was Kirkland Hawkins. Listen, our eyes are deceiving us because Kirkland's 6 looked like a 10, folks. We're getting old.
This time they go 3-1 wide.
Little slip screen there. And Mr. Everything for the Warriors, Ethan Basante, on a slip screen, picks up a first down.
You know, eventually at some point, I wonder if the defensive coordinator will end up saying, hey, or someone will come over and say, hey, let's rough this guy up a little bit. Let's be really ultra aggressive and take the game away from him rather than letting the game go to him.
Well, you know, a young man like that, he's a talented young man.
Absolutely.
And he's making things happen at this point. All of Ontario's offense has been that young man.
Correct. No one else but him. Pull the football.
Gang tackle by the Prexies.
Got about 45 seconds here in this quarter left, Coach Snyder. We might get one more play going here. This is actually, I think this is a big play. If we could get some sort of stop here, sets them up on 3rd with the new quarter, reorganize their defense.
DeJohn Smith once again shadowing Mr. Ethan Basante.
And this actually forced our defense to go from a 5-2, a 5-2 dime kind of look, and then now we have to go to a 4-3. This spread offense will do that, 5 wide.
And they did not call a flag. That was a good no call.
It was it would have been uncatchable.
It would have been, well, and the thing is, DeJohn just tripped there as he was backpedaling, and Pasante tripped over him. And once again, it was uncatchable.
If the quarterback would have been smarter there, he would have thrown it a little closer to him and probably would have given him the call.
8 seconds left with the clock stopped. Enough for the Warriors to get off one more play before the second quarter.
Everything looks blue to me, Coach Snyder.
Yes, sir.
Looks like I don't understand what just happened there.
I think.
Did they order takeout or something?
Maybe he said, hey, where's my pizza?
We have a 2-safety look, free and strong. Fully expecting that. Ooh.
And, you know, that was pretty good coverage right there as the Ontario Warriors ran a little bit of a, what is called a waggle play there, where the quarterback rolls out and you have routes coming across the field, which allows him to throw in a sprint. On the defense there was DeMonte Sweet Shoe Smith. That play only took 4 seconds.
Hey,
4 seconds.
Here we go. And they have to punt the ball again. Where's Cody at? Oh.
High punt. Plenty of air to
We got
return
a
the
flag.
ball.
I'm interested to see what the laundry's on the field for.
I got to believe where that is. It's got to be a holding.
Yes.
There was nothing that would indicate that we even come
Yes,
close
holding.
to running into the kicker.
They called holding.
That'll tack on 10 to the end of the run.
Tack on 10 to the end of the run, or would you rather have him kick it again?
There's too many things that can happen in a punt. Too many things. You could have a fake punt. You could drop the ball. You could fumble it on the return. Whenever the football gods give you a 10-yard gift, you take it just
Absolutely.
like when someone offers you a free sandwich.
Take the points, you take the yards always. Absolutely.
And take the sandwich, right?
It looks like we're at the end of the quarter here. Coach Schneider, are we going to be ready for a break?
Absolutely. We will be back with, well, Coach Keplinger's back here telling us that this might be an untimed down. Oh, look at that.
They're making him re-kick.
They're going to punt again. All right, just like that, the Prexies decide to make the Warriors of Ontario punt yet again. And I guess based upon the blocked punt before, I would say that this isn't too bad of a move here. Oh,
Bad
what
punt, poison. Ooh.
Ooh, that was a dangerous catch there, but Devon, the freight train Fraker, was able to bring that in. So with that being said, folks, we go into the second quarter with a 7-7 tie. We'll be back after this with the Marion High School Telecom production.
Go
School, state, and national art exhibits. Marion City Schools, the art of education.
The Marion City Schools take pride in our music department. With nationally recognized marching band, show choir, orchestra, jazz band, multiple choirs and ensembles, as well as advanced placement music theory, the Marion City Schools offer a wide variety of opportunities for students to showcase their musical talents. Numerous studies show that music education enhances core curriculum, promotes social dynamics, and encourages community involvement. At Marion City Schools, opportunity is the foundation of success. Wouldn't it be great if money grew on trees?
Yes.
And we are back here at Marion Harding High School field with this beautiful, beautiful turf. The Prexies have the ball in great field position on I believe that's the 47-yard line.
I'm interested to see what they do here. We've had some good plays with the run. Direct snap out of the Wildcat. The Booker getting a couple yards. Again, positive plays.
Well, and really what's happening right now is the Warriors are kind of stacking the box. We haven't really had much luck getting our running game going as of yet early in this game.
Absolutely. They're lining up in a 5-2, 4-4 strong, and they're looking to stop the run. However, we do have both an illegal substitution.
Well, and honestly, offensive success or not, up to this point, the Prexies have done themselves no favors. There have been some turnovers. There have been penalties. And right now, offensively, the Prexies just cannot find a groove yet early in this ball game.
Correct. And I really think we're looking for some continuity, especially in the run game. And once things get going, they'll be going.
Noah Cornbread Thompson at quarterback.
Need to get rid of it.
And as Noah turns to kind of try to find a little bit of open field there to scramble away, he finds nothing there but a Warrior defender in his face.
I tell you what, one thing that as our quarterbacks mature and as they start to get to play a little bit more, they need to learn to. You see it in the college game, the pro game. When there's nothing there, it's okay to throw the ball beyond the markers.
You know what, Coach, though? I think in high school football, I think there's different rules against grounding and things like that than what there is in high school. Oh, he tackled him by the helmet. I don't know.
It looked like he got his jersey and pulled him down.
Ooh, it looked like he got the back of the helmet.
Collar.
Okay.
It looked more like a horse collar than a helmet. That's all right. We have Colin the Hammer Hill back there to kick the ball. Coach Kiplinger, have you ever wanted to ask Colin Hill if he ever wanted to play soccer?
I never crossed my mind, but I'm out of eligibility now. Would have liked to after seeing that boot. So
take a good roll. There
Takes
we go.
a great Prexy bounce.
Great Prexy bounce.
And once again, folks, alls we have seen out of Ontario, and Ontario admittedly has had more offensively than we have had. Alls we have seen out of Ontario is steady doses of number 11, Ethan Pensante.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And considering everything else where things offensively just aren't clicking, we still find ourselves in a tie ball game and still have 3 timeouts. Haven't had to use any of those.
And, once again, like Coach Keplinger mentioned earlier, special teams are special, and they win you ball games.
Correct.
Whether it's through field position, through punting the Jim Tressel way, or whether it's blocking punts the Urban Meyer way.
I do believe the statistic I heard about 4 or 5 years ago, if the times you block a kick, 80% of times you win the game. And that looked like a hold to me.
Hawking him down from behind is Kirkland the Hawk Hawkins.
I tell you, Nick Arnold was on the outside. It sure looked like he was holding Gabe Detweiler, grabbing his arm. Kind of surprised he didn't call a hold on that.
On the D-line, we got young C.J. McKinney. It looks like Cody Harris is in there along with Colin Hill. Check that. That's Kirkland Hawkins and Drake the Snake Fascione. At outside linebacker, we got Gabe the Detonator Detweiler. Oh, and we were there. Noah Thompson was there to make a tackle, and he went low, much like we want him to go. But as he went low there, he dropped his head just a little bit. He was in great position. Gotta keep that head up a little bit, and he makes that tackle.
Tell you, that was a new formation we haven't seen tonight, Coach Snyder. They had 3 wide, and they had a flat back, 2 backs in the field. And they actually threw to the looked to be the more athletic back, so that way the other guy is more like a fullback, a blocking back for that little toss.
All right, young number 5 for the Warriors. The quarterback, Cameron Todd, takes a snap, hands off to number 36.
Nick Arnold, or 36. Yep.
Yeah, Nick Arnold. He's listed as a tight end linebacker, but that ain't tight end he's playing out there.
Right. I've noticed looking at the list, tonight, Coach Snyder and Coach Keplinger. They have a lot of older players, and they have a lot of experience playing. The only one I've really seen that's contributed of any amount is the quarterback, and he is a sophomore, and that is a huge advantage, having that experience playing. Coach Keplinger, it looks like they obviously feel like they have they've been running up the gut, running at in the B gaps around the sides. Looks like they obviously feel comfortable running it right up the gut on us.
Yeah, their last couple of plays there have been pistol formation, 4 wide, looking to give a spread look, but at the end of the day, just power football.
Absolutely. Like Coach Snyder mentioned, they have that nice big back in the field now running the ball. Here's another plow.
Well, and once again, folks, the middle of our line is just opening up and allowing huge chunks of yard by Mr. Nick Arnold.
I'll tell you what, if it happens again, don't be surprised. Because if I was Ontario, I'd keep doing the same thing. If it happens again, don't be surprised if Marion takes a timeout and starts to rebuild and restack.
Well, and really what's happening right now, if you're watching this game, is the guards are actually making it up to the second level and
Correct.
getting on the linebackers, which is allowing things to open up.
But, you know, this is the kind of stuff where they keep doing this, and it's going to lull. There's a timeout. It's going to lull us to sleep, and then they're going to make the fade route pass to number 11.
All right, folks, during this timeout, we are going to take a short break with a Marion Harding High School Telecom production.
Go.
From drawing, painting, and photography to sculpture, ceramics, and computer graphics, the Marion City Schools Art Department provides a wide variety of outlets to promote students' creative growth and education. At Marion City Schools, we believe that art education promotes interest and understanding in all aspects of student learning. Students of Marion City Schools have been featured in local, state, and national art exhibits. Marion City Schools, the art of education.
The Marion City Schools take pride in our music department. With nationally recognized marching band, show choir, orchestra, jazz band, multiple choirs and ensembles, as well as advanced placement music theory, the Marion City Schools offer a wide variety of opportunities for students to showcase their musical talent.
And we are back here with the Marion Harding High School Telecom production, where the Warriors of Ontario have found some success running the ball with big Mr. Nick Arnold.
I'd be telling my cornerbacks and my safeties, you got to watch the fake. Great stop. Great response. Way to get yourself in the backfield. And like you said, Coach Snyder, the guards were leaving the linemen to go to the second level. Finally, our line said, hey, we know your game, and go up and make the play.
Well, and Kirkland Hawkins, whose name it seems like we've called a lot, even when we accidentally called him Cody Harris, has crashed down off the edge and had a great tackle there. Coach Keplinger, if we're thinking 6s or 0s up here, does that mean we're getting old?
Yeah. You know, I'm just going to blame the glare and that nice new turf just really reflects the light. So, you know, nothing. And anybody can make that mistake.
And somewhere along the line, there is a blown coverage by the Prexies. And fortunately for the Prexies, that young man stepped out of bounds.
No. They said he stepped out at the 6. They said he stepped out at the 6. Wah, wah, wah. Tell you what, I would almost be tempted to call another timeout and regroup because our guys are probably mentally like, oh, they just scored on us. Need to stop. Yes. Just kidding. Way to not call timeout there. Way to let the defense play.
Once again, Kirkland, the Hawk, Hawkins on the tackle, along with Drake Fascio.
What are some things that the defense needs to do here, Coach?
Well, you know, more than anything, right now the way they've been running the ball, we just need to stack the box and read our keys.
And great stop. Tell you what, Coach Keplinger, it looks like they're stepping up and making some great plays. What do you think? If Ontario was going to make a play, what's the kind of thing that you'd want to look for?
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to go to that bread and butter. I'm throwing to what's his name's escaping me, Pisante, number 11. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I would maybe look for some sort of fade or some sort of hook out, something that would give him the ball.
I'd say probably something in the back corner of the end zone to Pisante.
We all said the same thing, Coach Schneider.
All right.
We're in consensus.
Consensus. Well, if that means consensus, that means we could be right. And rather than take commercial break here, we'll kind of talk a little bit through this timeout. I'm sure Coach Slater is down there, and obviously, we are not football masterminds, but I'm sure Coach Slater's down there telling the same thing that we just said. Watch out for Pisante.
Pisante sounds like picante, and the sauce is the boss, so we've got to stop the sauce.
And Pisante has been muy caliente tonight. He's been playing a very good ball game.
Si, senor. Coach Snyder, this is a beautiful field we do have here at Marion Harding High School.
Absolutely it is. And, we got to thank people like Ohio Health, Jay and Janice Moodley, Matthews,
Rushmore Academy,
Making it happen. Marion City Digital Academy. A lot of people gave money to this field, along with a lot of employees who gave money out of their paychecks to help for this beautiful field that will benefit our community. Quarterback tucks it to run.
Oh.
And the quarterback is able to shake off a couple tackles and squirt into the end zone. Cameron Todd with the touchdown for the Warriors of Ontario.
I can't stand anyone named Cameron or Todd.
So that would mean you don't like me or yourself. Pretty good pun there, Coach. I never realized that his name is a mixture of ours.
Both of our names.
Cameron and Todd.
I tell you what, though, our corners did a great job. They did their job. The quarterback had to run because we were covering the receivers. Our defense, our secondary did their job. The quarterback just made a play, and sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that happens.
Ooh. Thought we might have a chance at it.
All right, folks, just like that, with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left, the Warriors of Ontario own a 14-7 lead. We will be back with a Harding High School Telecom production after these messages from our sponsors.
Trees. But at Marion City Schools, we can help you plant the seeds of success by guiding you towards a wealth of scholarship money. At Marion City Schools, your future begins today.
This is me, and this is my teacher, Miss C. She's so great. She teaches me a lot of good stuff. She taught me that everything I do starts with me. I'm in charge. She taught me to have a plan and make sure I do all my work before I play.
All right, folks, and we are back. You got to believe that with the Prexies kicking the ball off at half, you got to believe we got to make something happen here with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in the first half.
You're right, Coach Snyder. We really need to get something going here, even if we were able to get down there and squeak a field goal. Coach Keplinger, what did you notice on that last play, that last touchdown play? We had all kind of joined a consensus, but what actually happened?
Yeah, I think with the consensus, right, everybody expecting the ball to go to Pisante. Cameron Todd, the quarterback, actually ran the opposite direction there, probably anticipating some type of double team on his target. So if that is in fact the case, that's just good play calling there on the Ontario end.
And the quarterback made a play. Yeah, absolutely. You're right.
Okay, the Prexies take the kickoff and are able to get down to, I believe, their 26-yard line. Coach Wessler calls him into the huddle. Sure, he is giving them instructions.
Tell you, something very important here, Coach Snyder. With 4:39 left, you also don't want to pass your way out of this half and give them the ball with 3 minutes on a punt.
Absolutely. What the Prexies need here is a good, time-consuming, meat-grinding drive.
We got Mitchell Frederick Myers back there at the helm. Got a bunch 3 and 2 wide.
Looks like an official's timeout. Way to call an official's timeout when we're about halfway through our play, so now I know what we're going to run, for Pete's sakes. Don't know what that was about.
Once again, if we don't have any sponsors for any eye doctors, we are currently looking for them at Marion Harding High School in our athletic department.
Oh, goodness gracious. Here we go, folks. Couple seconds left on the play clock. Great open field tackle by number 81, Garrett Nedro.
Don't call him his name very often.
Well,
Great
and you
catch.
know, that
Positive
open field
play.
tackle, if he doesn't make that tackle, Quave Booker's in the end zone because there was nobody else there. You know, his coach over there in Ontario's got to be proud of that tackle that young man just made.
Bunch formation, Coach Keplinger. What do you think we got here?
You know, I think I was a little too late to make a decision.
Uh-oh. Oh.
That was a counter that went nowhere. Little bunch formation, that was a counter.
Coach Keplinger, it looked like we lined up a little bit too tight there, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Given a lot of looks there. I think, honestly, I'm thinking long game here. You've seen Booker go with that direct snap. You've seen Booker throw the ball today. You've seen that. I think we're going to see him throwing a halfback pass at some point today. I just got that feeling.
This might be a time for if we can run that clock down a little bit more.
Well, and I think right now we're trying really, really hard to get something going offensively. We're trying to get the ball into the hands of our playmakers.
Oh, that was there.
And as Noah is being pressured, he throws with 2 defenders in his face, throws to Fraker. Passes just a little off there as Noah's under stress as he throws it.
And those are normally scary throws, throwing back towards the middle on the run. But he was open, and it's hard to make those passes on the run.
So the Prexies offense continues to struggle here early in the game. Colin Hill with the snap.
What a
Nice
punt.
high punt.
Need to cover the lanes.
Tell you what, the
That
refs
man.
didn't see it, but there was sure a hold there. One of our kids got tackled at about the 50-yard line. But if the refs didn't see it, didn't happen.
Well, Nick Hay Arnold, number 36 for them, is, I tell you, he's a one-man wrecking crew.
Well, you know, I must have spoke too soon. Earlier I was talking about how fantastic Pensante was looking. And now
Nick Hay Arnold has really been doing some damage.
Nick Arnold. Yeah, absolutely.
Really need to stop. They have 2 timeouts left, 2:57. This is where the defense is going to get their mettle tested a little bit.
Ontario taking their time, looking at the sideline.
Coach Schneider, I might be crazy, but it looks like they've run the same play over and over again, maybe slight different variations of it. What do you think the defense need to do to clog up some holes here?
Well, I think right now, really, you got to watch the guards and you got to watch who's pulling here. And really, and once again, we have a backside guard pull right there. And we're stacking the box, and Arnold is just having his way with our defense.
And down on the 1-inch line. This would be great to have a bad snap right here.
Absolutely. Coach Slater calls a timeout, is out there giving his defense an earful as we speak.
Coach Keplinger, what do you think are some things that maybe we should try and look for defensively to stop Hey Arnold?
Yeah, I think obviously Coach Schneider referenced you got to watch the guards there. Honestly, I think you got to keep stacking the box, though. You don't want Passante to get the ball. He burnt you early. You kind of overcorrect there. You don't want to let them score on their bread and butter, right? They need the big play. You don't want them to score with number 11, but at the same time, can't be giving up 6-7 yards on a carry there. So, I'm going to defer to Coach Schneider, but this interior line's been stout all night, all season. Just looking for them to step up.
Yeah, you're right. They do need to kind of step up and stop those runs. Yeah, we can stop one, but when you stop two, it's a whole different beast. Here they are in that pistol like Coach Keplinger called out. Big stop. Coach Schneider looked like we blitzed the house on that one.
Yeah, we did. We did a little bit on that. And, and sometimes the blitz works and sometimes it doesn't, and that time it worked. And I think kind of what we're seeing right here is we're kind of seeing an emotional hangover really from last week's big overtime win. It just looks like the Prexies on both sides of the ball just haven't really gotten to gear yet.
Another takedown. Hey, they're going in the right direction for us.
We are certainly going in the right direction. We had Kirkland the Hawk Hawkins. And remember, last time it was 3rd and goal, we saw a little quarterback run there. So with 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the ball game, the Warriors of Ontario are knocking on the door as the Prexies defense has stiffened up here.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if we get a stop here. See what they do on 4th down. We got to get the stop first. Jet sweep. Our guys are there. Yes, made the play. Great job.
Nothing doing on that as Drake Fascione steps up and makes the tackle.
And I see them calling for a kicker. That'd be a really tough angle.
It would be it's a tough angle, but it is a chip shot, Coach.
Correct. But in high school, you and I both know, and Coach Keplinger know, there's no such thing in high school as a chip shot.
Here's what I can tell you guys. I know the wide receivers, defensive backs, and special teams coordinator for Ontario is an old fraternity brother of mine, and he's a madman. So who knows what you're going to see here.
Ontario's content to let the clock run down, take a timeout, and talk about this play. They take their check that. They have one more timeout left in the half. They take a final timeout. Looks like as people mill in and out of the huddle that there very well may be a kicker in there, folks. We'll just have to wait and see as they line up if they're going to go for a field goal here or actually try to hit pay dirt. It should be noted that the Warriors of Ontario do get the ball at halftime.
I'm looking on the roster, Coach Schneider, and I don't see a kicker. But like Coach Keplinger pointed out, the coach is an old frat brother. Hopefully, he's as crazy as he is. We won't see anything that Coach Keplinger didn't see.
So here we go. Looks like number 5 is back on the field, the quarterback, and it looks like he is also. No, check that. Number 52 is the kicker.
At home.
Freshman.
Start the chant. At home.
Spencer Hall.
Block that kick. 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 Where's Cody? Ooh, barely snuck it in.
The kick is through the uprights, and the Prexies are down 17-7. And really at this point in the game, with what we've seen out of the Prexies and what we've seen out of the Warriors, the Prexies are pretty blessed right now to only be down by 10 in this ball game. But I've said it once and I've said it before, the best coaching that takes place in any game is the adjustments at halftime.
Absolutely.
So if the Prexies are going to have a chance to win this game, which they most certainly can, there's got to be some adjustments made at halftime, some mistakes fixed, and the Prexies got to find a way to get going offensively and not necessarily shut down Pensante, but find a way to shut down the run of Nick Arnold.
Absolutely, and like Coach Keplinger mentioned about the running, we got to stop one, and we can maybe stop the other.
So 20 seconds left in the ball game, or rather 20 seconds left in the half. We've got Fraker and Sims deep, and, you know, it would be nice to maybe see a long return here to maybe get the Prexies either A, in the end zone, or B, in some really good field position where they might be able to take a shot or two.
Right, and, you know, I'm thinking about 2 plays now where Ontario, they scored 10 points, but they could have easily scored 14 points. The wide receiver stepped out to 6. We stopped the guy on the 1-inch line. Sets up. 35-yard line, 15 seconds. Coach Keplinger, what do you think we got here?
Well, we got some laundry on the field first. We'll sort that out. But, you know, maybe a quick out, get another 10, 15 yards here, and then take a shot. So
why not? You have nothing to lose, right?
Absolutely. Play that safe and see what you get.
Absolutely. We'll see what they got here. Ooh,
well, and that was a smart play by the Warriors, kicking the ball like that, keeping it out of the hands of the athletes, keeping it low. Just a great squib kick by that young man. And really, up to this point, the story of the game has been the mistakes the Prexies have made and the 0 mistakes that Ontario has made.
Absolutely, that's correct. I've not seen but maybe one or two, and maybe, I think it might have been one, should have been 2 or 3 penalties on Ontario. This would be a good time just to take a nice little knee. It looks like we got the back. Colin Hill in the back. Take a little knee and get out. Regroup.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're talking 13 seconds left. So, folks, we're going to head to halftime, where you will see the award-winning Marion Harding High School band, and we'll be back after halftime, where the Warriors lead the Prexies 17-7 with a Marion Harding High School Telecom production.
Go Prexies.
And, folks, we are back with the second half of action where the Prexies offensively have struggled to get anything going. The defense has come to play a little bit, but kind of there in the tail end of the second half, the Warriors of Ontario found some running with none other than Nick Arnold, who Coach Cameron has affectionately called Hey Arnold. And with the way he's been running the ball, we can kind of say, hey,
Arnold.
There's Arnold. He's running the ball pretty well. So the Prexies kick the ball off here, down 17-10. Still plenty of time left in this ball game for the Prexies to definitely come back and win this. And in true Prexie fashion this year, no wins have come easy.
That's right. We've had the 2 wins we've had by a combined total of 5 points.
Yeah. And they have come within literally
the last
overtime or the last seconds of the ball game. And once again, I am Todd Schneider, and I'm here with Scott Cameron and Coach Corey Keplinger.
Corey, Coach Keplinger, what are you looking forward to this half? What do you think we need to get back in this game?
Yeah, I think quick stop there. You know, we had a bend don't break series there, preventing that touchdown from being scored last go around. And quick stop, get the ball.
It's what we need. Absolutely, right on. See if the defense can step up.
Well, and the Warriors started out with good field position, and on the kick there, the kick went to what is called the fullback on the kickoff return team, and boy, that tackle there looked a little scary. That young man kind of it wasn't a horse collar tackle, but he kind of got pulled from behind. His knees kind of buckled a little bit. He got hit high. It looked ugly, but he got up and walked off, so fortunately everything's okay for that young man. Warriors hand the ball off once again to Arnold. And listen, what makes Arnold such a good running back is not so much what the Prexies aren't doing, it's what that young man's doing is he keeps his feet running. It looked like he was going to be tackled for a loss there as Colin Hill squirted through the line there and got a hold of him, but Arnold kept his feet going, and what could have been a 1-yard loss easily became a 1-yard gain.
Yep, absolutely. He kept moving his legs, but he actually let his momentum take care of that job, and his legs
There was a huge bug that just flew in here, folks. Huge bug. I don't think I've ever seen a
Oh,
bug
and here
that
comes
big.
the sack. Oh, it's going to be close. Maybe it looks like a 1-yard gain.
Well, what easily could have been a sack there becomes, I believe, about a 1-yard run. And listen, let's go back to talking about this bug that just flew in here. I mean, holy smoke, folks.
Man.
I really thought
Yeah.
that Coach Keplinger was going to get out his sword and smite a dragon. That was the biggest bug I've ever seen.
This week, Coach Schneider. Sorry. It's signed by Randy Jackson. It's a very recognizable signature.
Absolutely, a Randy Jackson signed katana. Handoff.
Oh, here
Oh,
comes
it
the
looks like
pass.
a halfback pass.
Oh, great
and
stop.
Dejon Smith. And listen, on that play, Coach Keplinger, to me it looked like that Pinsante, a.k.a. Picante, could have really maybe got a offensive pass interference there with a push-off.
Yeah, it sure was. He had Smith a good probably foot and a half, 2 feet away with that long wingspan there and really opened that up. But good defense nonetheless, and what physical, I guess, good on the refs to let him play.
Absolutely. The refs did let them play, and Dejon the Bomb Smith with a great play. So the Prexies make a statement early in the half, and he drops the snap.
Oh, hold on. Seems to be some dissent down on the Prexy sideline. Had to burn a timeout. Just a few minutes into the second half. You hate to see that.
Well, and what happens sometimes on special teams is that sometimes those youngsters on special teams get caught sleeping on the sidelines and they're not paying attention. I will never forget one time when I was a sophomore in high school, the kickoff team was out there, or rather the kickoff return team was out there, and I was supposed to be on the kick return team. Well, being the youngster like I was, I probably wasn't paying attention to the game like I should, and the kickoff return team happened, and there were only 10 players out there, and I wasn't out there. Now, listen, you can't have more than 11, but
Correct.
you can certainly have less than 11.
Correct.
You can have 9 out there, quite frankly, and that's
Yes.
okay. I will never forget, I got told if I ever made that mistake again, I would never step on the field or never be on special teams again. And as a sophomore, you got to be on special teams. It's very important. So needless to say, I was never caught lollygagging again.
Here comes
And
the
we
flag.
see a flag from the back end. Don't know if maybe that's going to be a hold or this ref back here is maybe going to call a horse collar, but no, look, based upon his hand motion, it's going to be a hold against the Prexies.
Coach Snyder, while you were ever playing, did you ever have a large moth fly at you in a deathly fashion?
I never had a large moth fly at me in a deadly fashion. Quite frankly, you are the science teacher and the scientist. I don't know if that was a moth. That might be something mutant.
It might have been a dragon, puff,
Yeah. Could be.
but we almost perished.
We did, folks. But nonetheless, we are here to continue to give you corny jokes and play-by-play of the Prexy ball game.
We have Mitchell Frederick Myers in there to quarterback. I'm still looking for a pass from him. Oh.
And that looks like a miscue there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that was. I don't know if that was an errant throw or an errant run.
Well, and I
Mitchell
really,
stays in
really
there.
thought our tailback looked rather deep there.
Yes. It looked more, it was supposed to be more of a wide or a shallow dive toss play. Instead, he went wide.
Colin Quave in the backfield at fullback and tailback.
Looking at the play, Mitchell Frederick Myers.
And the Prexies have to spend another
Second
timeout as the play clock winds down.
How many do you give those in a half there, Coach Keplinger?
You get 3 there, and that's 2 early burns there from the president.
Not a good way to start the half.
Definitely not a good way to start the half, and burning 2 early timeouts could certainly come back to haunt you.
Coach Keplinger, we're entertained to keep you here. So how are things going in the social studies department right now?
Yeah,
at this break.
Pretty good. You know, I'm just worried about this feral bug is behind us.
Do you feel like you're on Lord of the Flies right now?
A little bit.
We have some strange sounds here, folks, in the studio. Don't know if Annabelle the doll is in here somewhere, but
that is some weird insect noise, fellas.
I don't know what it is. I don't want to look. The fake toss and the run.
And listen, once again, sure tackling by the Warriors. That is just sure tackling, folks.
I almost hate to say it's because it might be predictable now, but we almost need to just take a shot down the field. We almost need to do that there rather than the fake out and then run.
And it looks like they might just do that, Coach.
5 wide.
5 wide, 3 on one side, 2 on the other.
See if our athletes can beat theirs. There it is. Stay forward. There you go.
And it also looks like there's an extra 15 yards tacked onto that as number 55 for the Warriors gets a little too rough at the end of the play there.
I tell you, seeing this 5 wide set, a local team that's around here that runs plays, spread offense very well is the Kenton Wildcats.
Absolutely.
Boy, they spread the ball out, and they know how to find spaces on the field.
And once again, Coach Keplinger, we cannot find out who number 55 for the Ontario Warriors are, so we are going to christen this young man.
Joe Smith.
It's Joe Smith. He was Chet Westerfield earlier, and now he has changed his name to Joe Smith.
You can do it.
And as soon as I say the name Joe Smith, the loud insect noises behind us stop.
Apparently, they have a phobia of Joe Smiths.
Very well could be. All right, so the Prexies find themselves in business here. Quave Booker
has a gap.
Tucks the ball.
Moves forward for first down.
And based upon the insect noise, I believe that insect was excited about Quave's first down as well.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. That's a big play there. That's the second time you've seen him, second or third time tonight in that Wildcat formation. So,
well, and up to this point, the Prexies are kind of trying to find any way they can to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. And if that's Wildcat for Quave, if that's Noah under center, if that's Mitchell Frederick Myers, I'm okay with it, Coach.
Cornbread hands off to the Hammer Hill there. Another
Hammer
great
Hill.
Positive gain there on first down.
And, folks, I think Coach Cameron has retreated here to maybe go try to kill this large bug.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Not all heroes wear a cape. Sometimes, folks, they are science teachers at Marion Harding High School.
We have a breaking bulletin. I found where the insect is large, hiding behind a door, and it's even scaring the Ontario camera lady.
So it seems like Buggate continues up here as we have, unfortunately, a injured Prexy. Actually, folks, looking at it right now, I believe it is just cramps. But right now, due to the fact that there is a large insect up here, we are unable to determine who that is down on the field. I gotta believe that maybe looks like Mr. Booker, I believe. Quave Night Train Booker. Check that. Hold on, I'm looking here. No, that is none other than Drake the Snake Fascione walking out the cramps. Well, and Coach Keplinger, it should be noted that this is the 4th game of the season, and Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3 were very much fall-like weather. And tonight was really kind of the first night that there's been just a little bit of humidity and a little bit of heat in the air.
Yeah, for sure. Summer definitely came back. We were sitting there talking about the Popcorn Festival last go-around and how fall was in the air, but it is the best way I've heard the humidity described is closeness, and that weather is close.
That weather
tonight.
is close. Mr. Booker, the Night Train, carries the ball Rumble, young man, rumble.
Rumble and stumble and bumbling.
And it seems just like that, the Prexies have found a little bit of offense identity.
As long as that we have our offense run like this, that green bug can stay in here for the rest of the daggone night.
Absolutely. I think that bug was good luck.
The presidential bugs.
Well, and listen, the Prexies are doing a little bit of tempo here. They're not giving Ontario a chance to get set. They're lining up. Quave Booker checks out of the ball game as I believe Seth Laham Tyler checks into the ball game at fullback, and Colin the Hammer Hill is at tailback.
Yeah, offense was at a crawl. Seems to be flying now.
It does seem to be flying, absolutely, Coach Keplinger. You got right at the abdomen of the issue there. Your antenna must be flying high.
So we have 2nd down and 9 to hit pay dirt and make this game a little bit closer with 6 minutes and 40-some-odd seconds left in what has been a Prexy-dominated third quarter. Noah Thompson goes under center, looks to the sideline, goes back under center, turns, and hands the ball off to the Hammer, who rumbles ahead for what looks like about a 5 to maybe 6 yard gain.
That's just a tough run from the Hammer Hill there. He's got tough exoskeleton.
Absolutely, he does. We've got a lot of bug puns up here, folks. A lot of bug puns. I believe the Warriors of Ontario call a timeout as the Prexies offense has been humming. So, Mr. Cameron, as a science teacher, can I ask you what kind of bug you think that was?
I believe they call it a demon bug. I don't know. But I was able to stand on a chair and gain a look at the Lilliputian we call the dragon bug, devil bug, Diablo.
From the depths of the underworld.
But it's green, so we'll call it Verde Devil.
I think in Ohio they might call those cicadas.
Diablo Verde.
All right, folks, and once again, if you're watching this game, you were looking down at this beautiful, beautiful turf. We cannot thank our sponsors enough. We cannot thank our school board enough and all of the wonderful people that allowed something like this to happen. The soccer team has played on it. The football team has played on it. We're going to see band competitions, youth football, middle school football, youth soccer. All kinds of great things are happening on this field and will continue to happen on this field because of the fantastic investment our community members put in our children of Marion City Schools.
Ooh, with the quarterback sneak, and it's in.
And just like that, the Prexies answer, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that was Noah Cornbread Thompson.
Absolutely. Great
on the
run.
Quarterback sneak.
And it looked like they were going to set for the eye, and the defense was not ready for that. We had been setting up in a wing offense all night long. But I tell you what, we really ran it down their throats on that one.
Absolutely, Coach. Nothing fancy on that. Just good old-fashioned meat grinding football. And what looked like may have easily been a block PAT goes straight through the uprights by Savion Green Shoes Tyler, also a soccer player for Coach Keplinger. Speaking of kids you coach, Coach Keplinger, can you talk to us a little bit about Noah Thompson? And even though he was injured last year and didn't really get a chance to wrestle, could you talk to us about this young man's wrestling ability?
All around, you guys will see it on the film. He's a talented athlete. I can't say enough good things about him. Obviously, excited to have him healthy. The kid's got it. He's a gamer. So.
Well, and you know, one of the things about Noah is not only Noah just a good athlete, Noah is also a good student, and it should be mentioned that Noah has a fantastic perm. He has some good-looking hair.
He does have
and listen, as a guy who doesn't have a lot of hair, much like yourself,
yes,
Coach Cameron,
correct.
I'm jealous of him. Now, Coach Kepler over here has these beautiful long locks, much like Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. Let's let him talk about Noah Thompson's hair.
Or Fabio.
Yeah, you know, it's not every day that I get out haired. So, props to that kid's DNA too. So that is a great perm. I mean, that could be in a Bonnie Tyler music video.
Absolutely. The Prexies kick off the ball.
Maybe good stop, good tackle. Good
Great tackle and a good stop there as number 50, Noah Apollo Creed. I can't give kids from the other team nicknames. We did give Hey Arnold a nickname.
We could call him Scott Stack.
For people who remember Creed.
My eyes are wide open, Coach Snyder. And my arms.
You don't want to get trapped in your own prison of puns here.
Sorry.
So, folks, we apologize for those lame Creed jokes, but here we are. And the
Hey, we're only down by 3. Only down by 3. As bad as the night has been, folks, we are only down by 3.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
And Noah Cornbread
Thompson
of the great Perm Thompson closes on that like a gator closes his jaw on his prey, ladies and gentlemen.
Like the Verde Diablo closes on the 3 commentators.
Absolutely. Is that Spanish for hot bug? Devil bug?
No.
Okay.
No, it's green devil. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Quarterback pulls it.
Ooh. I thought the wide receiver would drop that maybe for a second.
And I tell you what, Coach, that was just a good play. That was just a good play all around.
Yes. Fake and then the throw.
That definitely fooled the Prexies there.
When do you think they're going to try and go back to Picante?
You know, Coach,
he's sitting over there.
I think up to this point, and I don't want to speak too soon here, but I think Dejon has done a good job of covering him because we haven't seen him go back to him much.
At some point.
At some point, they got to take a shot, though,
well,
Coach.
That slot
and
receiver
I think we're seeing it right now. Hey, and you know what? That was definitely a pass interference, but at the end of the day, that was a smart pass interference. And here's why. If Noah had gotten beat on that, he'd let the young man get behind him. If Noah does not interfere, a.k.a. pass interference, with that play, we are looking at, Coach Keblinger just threw his arms up behind me, we're looking at a touchdown. So, whereas I'm not here to say that any penalty is good, but as far as the pass interference penalty goes, that's a smart penalty.
But, you know, I thought that ball was a little underthrown. It was close to uncatchable because the wide receiver ran for the ball and it was underthrown.
Well, but it's one of those things where Noah just didn't turn around. And any time the DB doesn't turn around, they're going to call that every time.
Yeah,
they're going to call that every time.
Receiver. Yep.
So, you know, good closing speed by Noah. So rather than 7, the Warriors get a free 15 yards, and I'll take that any day of the week, folks.
Absolutely. I tell you what, though, the irony is same receiver.
Oh!
Yeah.
And that was offensive pass interference, folks.
Sure looks like it to me.
That has to be offensive pass interference.
They're going to be talking
if
about
that
right
is not
now.
offensive pass interference, I think the Harding coaches might lose their mind.
Go
and
right
that's
back to where they
what
were.
It is, Coach, because what happened on that is Mr. Pinsante impeded the ability of Mr. Dejon Smith to catch the ball. Even though he's a DB, he has a right to catch the ball just as much as anyone else. So offenses can have pass interference.
And you know, here's the thing. That's the exact same slot receiver. They just went right back to him. The great irony is the one that they called pass interference on us, it looked like he jumped a little bit early. They didn't call it. You can rewind the tape and look at it, but hey, at the end of the day, guess where we are?
Well,
where we started.
First and Waldo, baby.
And guess what? It's first and 25 for them.
That's
even harder.
But with what they've been able to do, though, I don't count out 25 yards for the Warriors to get in 3 plays.
Backside screen again
screen.
To Picante Sauce. Oh, they got to tackle him. Don't let him go. Picante Sauce goes down.
And I believe for a second I thought the ball might have been stripped. But it was not, and I believe Mr. Pinsante lost his helmet. No flags, nothing thrown. That was a completely clean play. Looks like we have a flag here, which will be a hold against the Warriors. Coach Keplinger, you take that?
I'm going to wait and see the call here first, but I think anytime you can back them up again, absolutely you have to. You know, even we're talking in a scenario where first and 25 isn't enough. First and all, let's back it up. Let's make it first and Delaware. So First and Sandusky Street.
I like what you're doing there, Coach. Instead of First and Waldo, let's make it First and Delaware. And while we're down there, let's go, what do they got, Son of Thurman down there?
Oh.
Okay.
Apparently the ripped-off helmet was called. And like Coach Brady is going out there, he seems to be a little perturbed as well.
Maybe I'm going to see something a little different on film, but
right.
Well, and Coach Keplinger brings up a good point. Normally, if someone loses their helmet, they have to come off the field, but I think Pensante lost it because of what was a personal foul, so he doesn't have to come off. Check that. Coach Brady is pointing out the rule of the fact that possibly since a young man lost his helmet, he does have to come off the field. That is a rule.
It looks like he's being scolded like a preschooler.
Well, and actually, I think Coach Keplinger brought up a good point.
He has a great point. Yeah,
because he had lost his helmet due to a penalty. He does not have to come off the field. And I think that's what they're explaining to Coach Brady. But kudos to Coach Brady for asking for clarification on that rule. Because if I was on the sideline, I would ask the same thing. Hey, his helmet came off. Why is he not out of the ball game?
Again, we don't have any optometrist sponsors, but we are looking for some. Marion Harding Athletics. Fake and then out. Yes, way to tackle low.
Open field tackle by Noah Thompson.
Cornbread Thompson has been a real defensive asset here this half. He's made some big plays tonight.
Here's what the Prex got to do right now. They're making some good plays on defense, but they can't get too gregarious. They can't give the refs a chance to call a silly penalty because these youngsters are getting excited because they're making plays. I'm okay with the excitement, but don't leave it up to a ref's interpretation.
Congratulate your teammates. They will never penalize
Absolutely. And honestly, that was a great play by Noah Thompson, so he has every right to be excited.
And here comes the timeout. Hey, I tell you what. We have a lot of momentum going into these final minutes of the third quarter. Down 3, second 27, or as Coach Keplinger, second and.
Yeah, we're at 2nd and Sandusky Street.
2nd and Sandusky.
2nd and Sandusky Street. And while we're down there, let's go get a burger. Hey, speaking of downtowns, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about all the great things that are opening up in downtown Marion.
Absolutely.
We have a brand new coffee shop. We have a Motto's Pizza. We have a Mexican restaurant getting ready to open up, 29 Brew Pub, who is owned by the parents of one of our fantastic students at Marion Harding High School, Miss Hope Meddings. Her parents own that. They're moving downtown. So, there's a lot of exciting things happening in Marion, Ohio right now, whether it's the great things in Marion City schools, whether it's this turf, whether it's all the great things that are coming downtown. There's a lot of great things happening. And as a community, Marion needs some wins and we need some successes. And right now we're getting them, Coach Cameron.
Absolutely. A lot of small town America, places like ours struggle with losing the downtown due to urbanization and sprawl.
And we struggled during the recession,
Absolutely. And we're coming back strong and we're finding a way to make it work, and it looks great. It looks like some miscommunication with the quarterback and the.
And once again, great defensive play by, who is that, Coach Keplinger?
I believe that's Devin Fraker.
Freight Train Fraker.
A.K.A. the Freight Train Fraker. Okay, so we have 3rd and
Sandusky Street.
3rd and Sandusky Street. And you got to believe with the success they've had with the screen, we might see a screen.
I think we're either going to see some screen or we're going to see picante sauce make a fly route down the side. I'm a little leery to watch our safety.
And frankly,
Buckle
take a
down.
shot here with Pensante. What do you have to lose right now?
Yeah, if I were Ontario. It's a bubble! It's a bubble! Oh my God! Oh my God! Can you believe it? Oh my God! What a play! 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 What a play!
scores a touchdown.
What a play! What a play!
What a play!
What a play!
So, folks, it seems like that this demon bug that flew into our booth up here was an omen of good luck.
Mr. Schneider, is it possible where we could go get that wonderful bug and put him into the Harding High Hall of Fame?
Tell you what, we need to find him and gold plate him, Coach.
And right through.
And just like that, Savion Greenshoe Styler, who is also a fantastic soccer player for Coach Keplinger and Coach Eric Williams, boots through the all-important P-A-T. And ladies and gentlemen, this crowd here is rocking.
Well, I just listened to this crowd.
The student section, Coach, they're down there dressed in togas. This is like Roman night or something.
That's right. None will be murdered here tonight, though, except for the Ontario Braves.
All right, folks, and just like that, the Warriors
Ontario Warriors
of Ontario find themselves in a hole. There's been a couple miscues tonight on snaps. We had a blocked punt that was picked up and taken in for a touchdown, and we also had a fumbled snap that was picked up by Seth Tyler. And checking out of the ball game is number 1, Gary Mone. And checking in the ball game is Andrew Bobo Brazil.
Oh, that student section sure is fired up, rightfully so. We got the momentum, up by 4. Let's see what the defense can do here. Oh.
But you know what, though? Based upon the field position that we have given the Warriors all night, that is actually
about where they
probably
would
a
have been.
smart play. And I'm pretty sure based upon high school rules, the ball will be placed at, I believe, the 35-yard line.
Correct.
But I got to remember, I think somewhere in high school there might be a weird twist where it's the 40, but I very well could be wrong about that.
Seems like that'd be odd to be penalized more in an amateur sport.
But you know what, though? Sometimes we spend so much time watching the NFL and watching college football that we think the rules of those...
It is a 35 here,
yeah. Absolutely. But we think the rules of those apply directly to high school, and the rules essentially are the same, but there are a couple tweaks here and there. Like, there is no tackle box in high school football like you hear in, NFL and college about throwing the ball away if he's outside the tackle box. There is no such thing in high school football. That's just an example of one of the rules that is different.
Tell you what, an interesting observation here, Coach Keplinger. Ontario seems to have gone away from their really strong running game, which was really going well for them.
Yeah, I think right out of the gate there, that was shut down by that Harding defense. They really forced them to air it out, and obviously being on the wrong side of the score ledger here, they're gonna have to throw the ball.
Absolutely, they feel almost pressured now, and the thing is, they don't, but they feel that pressure, and will they succumb to it?
Well, and you bring up a good point. They went away from the running game, and they've been trying to pass the ball here, but yet we still see the young man Arnold there in the backfield, so he's always a threat. Quarterback drops back to throw. Drake Fascione.
Ooh, maybe a hold. There it is. There's a hold call.
Well, and listen, here's what's happening right now. Drake Fascione, who broke a record last week for sacks in a game as a defensive lineman, Drake Fascione, who I'm sure if he has not done so yet, has broken the season sack record 4 games in the season, is really harassing their quarterback. And really that's what's happening right now. He's got Drake in his face. He can't throw the ball. The lineman can't hold him. So naturally, you're going to get holding calls or you're going to get a rushed, hurried throw.
Absolutely. And again, they're going back to that pistol 4-wide lineup, and they just aren't running out of it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a run to try and get down to second and 10,
it's
second 13.
Long, but maybe I will run here if I'm their coach. Maybe I
into-
will. Just to make sure we can still do it. Nope.
Nope,
Quarterback
it
rolls
looks
out.
still pass.
Little waggle play there.
Ooh,
And the ball is a little bit too high, right out of the reach of number 33 for the Warriors,
Lyle Scott, yet another senior. Like
Well,
we said,
and
they're loaded into depth for the older players.
Well, and you brought it up, Coach. There are a lot of seniors on Ontario's ball team. You know, but we should note ourselves that we have 18 seniors on our ball team, too.
Correct.
18 young men who I've said on here a couple times in this broadcast, I had the pleasure of coaching when they were youngsters in the 7th and 8th grade. Great group of young men.
Doing great things. Brought the program back with Coach Brady. 5 wide. Got to make that stop. Attaboy.
Great open field tackle by he of great hair, Noah
Cornbread Thompson.
And it should be noted that Coach Keplinger is the one who gave Noah the nickname Cornbread. Coach, could you please tell us the genesis of this nickname of Cornbread Thompson?
Sure, that goes back to my own high school experience as a kid. I won't bore you with the details. But at the time, I was wrestling in high school, and he was an elementary kid, and he had really red hair and a bunch of freckles, and all his friends called him Cornbread. And so, as fate would have it, Mr. Thompson and I's paths cross, and I said to myself, holy cow, that reminds me of Cornbread. So I just started calling him Cornbread, and that's how that goes. So.
Absolutely.
It is a mixture of the Little Debbie and Annie.
Well, and you know, Noah has been playing a heck of a ball game here. The young man has scored a touchdown. He has made some great open field tackles. Just great play by that young man as he walks out to play quarterback with Colin Hill and Quave, the night train booker, behind him.
Got a tight I formation. They might look to pound it out here a little bit. Oh, get some separation. Hold on to that ball.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're on second and looks like 4. 2nd and 4.
2nd and 4. I'll take that any day of the week.
You know what this could lend to? Some sort of play action pass.
You know, and as well as we have been running the ball as of late, a play action pass is probably a good thing to run. But just like that, a little more of the same.
Yep.
And you know what? If it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
You don't need to fix it, folks. You don't need to fix it.
I tell you what, we are. It looks as if we're almost kind of how they're wearing down our line the first half. We're wearing down their line a little bit in this half.
Well, and it should be noted, if you look at Ontario's sideline, you look at our sideline, we have a lot of guys who go both ways, but we also have more bodies than they do. Now, just because we have more kids than they do doesn't mean that puts us in a better position to win the ball game. But when you get late in a ball game, it does help when you tend to have a little more depth on your team. And really right now, I think the Prexies maybe have just a little more depth.
What was called right there, Coach Snyder?
Well, and as we're up here talking, the play clock wound down as the Prexies took a little bit too long there to get the play going.
Can't happen on a first down.
No. Like Coach Keplinger and I have talked about so many times up here, it's important that positive things happen on first down. And not saying it still can't happen, but it's a lot harder to get those positive yards when you're staring at 1st and 15.
That looked like a J.T. Barrett-esque fake pass and then an attempted run, and he got back to the line of scrimmage. Coach Keplinger, you want me to go check on that bug to make sure it's running for us?
All right, we have a minute left here in the third quarter, folks. A minute left here in the third quarter. As DeMonte Smith checks out of check that. That's Devon Fraker checks out of the ball game.
And the exoskeleton of the lineup looks like another tight I formation. And we got Booker out to the right. Ooh,
And I'm going to tell you what, that was a great block by Gary Money. Great block by Gary Money.
Good stock block.
So what was first?
Oh, look at this. 24 seconds, and we're going to try and get it instead of trying to run out. We got the momentum. Pile drive into him. First down.
All right, folks, never mind. Hold on. Don't want to get ahead of myself. Clock is going to start here once the chains are set.
It looks as if they were calling for they were just going to let the clock run out to the end of the half. Smart move.
That's a very smart move. As the Prexies go into the third quarter with the momentum. Folks, the Prexies score 14 unanswered points in the third quarter to take a 21-17 lead against the Warriors of Ontario. We will be back with the Marion Harding High School Telecom production after these messages from our sponsors.
To develop the essential life skills and characteristics students need to thrive in the 21st century. The Leader in Me process provides the teacher experience and classroom implementation tools to put your school on the path to greatness. As you integrate timeless principles into your school's core curriculum and language, you will build student self-confidence, reduce discipline referrals, and increase academic achievement. Find out more at theleaderinme.org.
Great happens here.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Haven't seen you around before. Are you new in the neighborhood?
Yeah. Haven't you heard about the new state law on yard waste bags?
No, I guess not.
Well, if yard waste is set out by the curb for pickup, state law requires residents to use a compostable bag, like me, or a large paper bag, or a hauler-provided cart. Plastic bag.
And we are back here for fourth quarter action. Harding does lead 21-17 to start. As is tradition, go ahead and give my shout out to Grandma here to start the fourth quarter. So, hi, Grandma. The bug wasn't that big.
Don't let them lie to you, Grandmommy. It was very painful to watch.
All right, so here we go. The Prexies really owned the third quarter, scored 14 unanswered points. Nothing really doing on that first down play, but the Prexies are in business as they look at second and, I believe, a 10 and maybe a half yards to get first down. But you got to believe this is four down territory.
Yes, absolutely. We do have a great field goal kicker. This would be a little bit too deep for just about anyone.
Little counter play.
And it looks like there's a flag, laundry on the field. Right in that tackle box, looks like it's probably going to be a hold.
Well, and what became four down territory because of the hold may very well force us to punt if we're not able to get some positive plays here in the next couple plays.
Colin Hill's a great punter, great high school punter. Would also, if he has any future college ambitions of playing football, anyone's looking at him, he'd be a great punter. If a school needed a punter as a secondary guy, he does a great job. Got a good foot for a big man.
Well, and you got to believe a kid like Colin Hill is going to go play somewhere.
Correct.
He's going to go play somewhere. And I tell kids all the time that, there's 8 big boys that line up every Saturday in college in the state of Ohio, and there's also about 40 small colleges that also play. So any kid that ever wants to play in the state of Ohio can most certainly find a home somewhere. And Colin's a good enough player and young man, he will do just that. Little shovel pass. And there is more laundry. Based upon where that's thrown, I got to believe maybe there's an illegal formation of sorts.
Yeah.
Not enough guys on the line of scrimmage, maybe.
Away from
or maybe encroachment. I don't know what they're talking about here. We'll have to see, folks.
Coach Schneider, when did they get away from calling that an illegal procedure? I remember hearing that all the time.
Waving it off.
Okay.
What are you saying, Coach Keplinger?
Just remember coming to games in elementary school and hearing a legal procedure all the time. I just wondered when the wordage on that changed.
Maybe we got a little more PC and we quit calling it illegal and just called it something else, Coach. That's a very good question. All right, so, you got to ask yourself, if the Prexies get some positive yards here, like maybe 5, 6, 7 yards, maybe they go for it on 4th down here.
Well, if you look, here we go. Setting up in a under center queen. Great fake. And run away from him. Keep running. Keep running.
And Noah Thompson.
Cornbread Thompson. He's just lighting it up.
Listen, that's what Cornbread gives you. The fact that the kid is an athlete and can run and make some plays. However, didn't quite get enough for the 1st down here. Oh, check that. And he signals first down, and just like that, we put some butter on the cornbread.
Absolutely, and let's put some gravy on there too.
Gravy on the cornbread and butter on the cornbread. Well, and you know, folks, when you prepare against the Prexies, you got to ask yourself, you're going to prepare against the traditional Mitchell Frederick Myers, or are you going to prepare against the guy who is kind of can do a little bit of everything, Noah Thompson? Noah Thompson right there just made a play with his feet.
It reminds me of the Chris Leak, Tim Tebow, or the Joe Jermaine Stanley Jackson days of Ohio State, too.
Quave Bookett, Night Train Booker, rumbles ahead for a 5, maybe 6, check that, maybe 7-yard gain.
Great positive play on 1st down. Gets us in a good position where we can take a little bit more risks offensively. Coach Keplinger, we're moving in here to around the red. We actually are inside the red zone. What do you think we should be looking for here?
Yeah, I mean, so far, been running hard. I'd stay with Booker and Hill in the backfield here and keep running the ball.
I agree. If the run is working, right?
Oh, and the Prexies lose the ball, but in a twist of fate that favors us, the football gods allow us to get that ball back for what is essentially a 1-yard gain, 2-yard gain.
Praise the pigskin. The football gods have answered.
Well, and sometimes the ball just bounces your way, and fortunately, that's what happened that time.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, I don't know. Looks like we took a loss.
And the
4th down.
Ontario defense stiffens.
They did.
And we actually end up with a
4th and 1, 4th and a long one. Long one. Yeah, long one. Maybe 2.
And you got to ask yourself, do you kick it here? But when you add in the fact that you have the end zone, this could become 25-yard kick. But
you got Colin Hill.
We're going to put the big bodies in the backfield.
You got Colin Hill. What is this? What is this?
I see some laundry. I believe there's going to be a flag. I believe what I meant to say on that was I see some laundry. I believe this is probably going to be a holding call.
Oh, and here, no, it's a chop block.
Chop block.
Ooh, that's a bad one.
High-low. Well, and you don't, honestly, those things, you don't plan for them to happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes somebody goes low to cut legs because you only need a couple yards,
Well,
I think in a situation like that.
On short yards, yeah.
It's a short yardage play. You got to let them play. But at the same time, too, it's important that we keep these young kids safe. So the punt team comes out.
It's probably a wise decision.
Certainly a wise decision.
You're giving them, as long as, we need a good pooch punter. Thing is, I think Mr. Hill is almost too good of a punter. Whoever our bad punter is, those sometimes make the best pooch punters, Coach Schneider.
Yeah, absolutely. But Colin himself, he is a good punter, but you got to think maybe here he's going to try to cough and corner this a little bit.
What would a fake do right here? I know it's a long
fake would be exciting if it worked. It'd be the greatest play if it worked, and if it didn't, it would be one of those, oh, my goodness, type plays. Prex is going to let the clock run as much as they can.
Absolutely. Here it comes.
Every second counts.
3, 2, 1. Good decision.
Listen, this is a smart penalty.
Absolutely.
They're going to allow themselves to take 5 yards to go back, which allows Colin
more space,
a little more room to punt.
That's right.
Colin Hill with the punt.
Oh, wow. What a bounce. Get down there. Wow. Wow, 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 wow,
Ladies and
wow.
gentlemen,
On the
that
3-inch
was a
line.
fantastic hustle by, who was that, Coach Keplinger?
It was the freight train.
The Freight Train Fraker. All 5'9", 150 pounds of the Freight Train Fraker.
I tell you what, a safety would be interesting here. That would make it a 6-point game, a touchdown-worthy game.
Well, and the Prexies have had some great special teams plays. No doubt about it tonight.
Big
So here
play.
we go. Ontario standing in their end zone with 99 yards to go to hit pay dirt. But, ladies and gentlemen, don't think that they can't do it with some of the athletes that they have.
I'll tell you, one thing I've noticed from them, Coach Snyder, whoever their wide receiver coach is, they have taught them to stiff arm every single defender that they encounter.
Well, and you got to think sometimes, those stiff arms, you don't see it called much, but offensive face masks can, in fact,
It
be
is a
called
thing.
sometimes.
It is a thing, yep.
And, you know, that number 8, we haven't seen much of him today, but Nolan Hatfield.
Another senior.
Yet another senior. Not McCoy, but Nolan Hatfield. All right, Ontario's backed into a corner here.
Ooh, almost looked like he dropped the ball. Metasuzi's caught the ball and...
Well, and you know, the thing is we got him at the 1-yard line. Great. They put some good plays together, and really, sometimes in a situation like that, you've got yourself a cornered animal, and they got to fight their way out. So what you got to do is you got to try to keep that animal in the corner and not allow them to fight their ways out.
It looked like we were almost playing a prevent kind of secondary, and we didn't want to give a 99-yard touchdown.
Absolutely.
Let's see if we
Well,
tighten it up here.
Great
good.
defensive play.
Great defensive play by Devin.
All
The Freight Train Breaker.
5'9" and 150 pounds of that young man. He's playing out of his mind tonight. Good job, Freight Train. What's that again, Coach Keplinger?
Oh, that's one of the old adages, right? It's not the size of the ball in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the ball.
And I think it's safe to say that Freight Train has a lot of fight in him. That young man is playing like he is 10 feet tall and bulletproof, folks.
Going back to that forward, I think that section of their playbook must be about 180 pages long. Rolls out. This should be a great play by us.
Wow. That was
Gonna
a
set-
great open field tackle by Freight Train, and Noah Thompson
Sets
with
up
closing speed like Usain Bolt.
Sets up a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 here, Coach Schneider, Coach Keplinger. And, you know, the best thing else there, we stopped Picante Sauce from getting a long gain there, and we kept him only 4 yards. Kept him in front of us.
Well, and I'm telling you, Coach, what you're going to see here is the quarterback's going to catch and turn and throw the ball to probably one of those 3 wide receivers out there in space and hope that they can make somebody miss to get that play.
Yep, watch for some sort of bubble or slot screen. Yep. Oh. Yeah, oh.
Hey, that's okay. That's a sideline warning on the
That's just a
Prexies.
warning.
I'll take that because here's why. Number 8, number 2 is standing out there all by himself. And Coach Brady and Coach Slater are over there having many coronaries because nobody was over top at number 2. So even though that was a warning,
That was a good thing.
that was a good thing because it stopped play for a split second.
That could have been
and allowed
bad.
the coaches to yell just a little bit more, hey, you, get out there. So here we go, folks. 3rd and 6. A lot left in this ball game, but you got to think this has got to be a very important play right now.
And big play, got to take him down.
And a quarterback sack by none other than who? Drake the
Snake.
Fascio.
Drake the Snake.
Also in there was Colin the Hammer Hill.
I tell you what, that's a great play because now they have to punt. I would say, as crazy as this is, each team only has one timeout.
Well, I'll tell you
Ontario's
what.
days are numbered.
What the Prexies don't do
Watch
here,
the fake.
What the Prexies don't do is, I'm never saying you never go after a punt, but right now you don't want to make a mistake like that in the
Correct.
ball game where you might accidentally rough a punter. High kick to Noah Thompson. Looks like he's going to have some. Oh,
Safe
check
catch.
that. That was a fair catch, which
Good play. Smart
I'll take
play.
that.
Smart
so
play.
the Prexies, with check that, 4 minutes and 45 seconds left in the game. The Prexies are in good position here. However, what we can't afford is a 4 and out. Check that, a 3 and out. We've got to put together a drive here, and we've got to make something happen to kill some time and to grind the clock here and to get ourselves closer to pay dirt and possibly a touchdown to ultimately seal what has been a close ball game.
I would look for a heavy dose of I formation and a Quave Booker or Hill, right, Coach Keplinger?
Oh, no doubt, Coach Cameron.
Yes. Cornbread's under center. Got a little I formation. Two tights.
Oh, and he break it to the
What a
yes.
great block by Gary.
Stay in bounds.
Moni.
Oh, there we go. With the penalty, too.
And
Tack
I
it
got
on.
to believe that
Like
with
a
the-
tail on the donkey.
with the
Tack
stiff-
it on.
with the stiff arm by Quave, I worry about what this call very well may be. I'm hoping it's against the Warriors, but up here it could very well be maybe an offensive face mask. I certainly hope that's not the case, but that may be what we're looking at. I'm not sure. We just got to wait and see here what they call.
Oh,
Yep. And you know, I brought it up earlier, but unfortunately on a stiff arm, those things happen. But you know what? My problem with that call is I think you got to call it both ways.
they've been doing it all
and
night,
wasn't-
Coach Snyder.
It's not an intentional face mask. The kid just put a stiff arm out there. So what was a great play by a young man is now negated by a offensive face mask call. All right, but because it is a spot foul, the Prexies are looking at 1st and 9. So really,
Coach Snyder,
it's kind of a positive play.
Did you say we don't have any optometrists sponsoring our Harding
well,
athletic
and you know,
programs,
Coach,
do we?
plays like that can be called either way. And I had mentioned earlier in the ball game that those things can be called. But, you know, obviously the ref was standing right there, so it must have been something that he saw that he felt he needed to call. And, you know, obviously we're up here and we can be critical, but when you're down there and it happens right in front of you, you know, the important thing is we may not have liked the call, but ultimately those calls are there to keep kids safe. But I would think the way that he kind of flung Quave out of bounds there,
I thought that
I
would have
kind
been
of thought they were going to call it on Ontario.
Yeah, I did too.
But something in my heart told me, oh, man, this is going to be an offensive face mask call.
What are the pick 3 numbers, Coach Snyder? What's your heart telling you on that?
The pick 3 numbers? Don't know, Coach. That's a very good question.
See, we have tight eye again, run it right down their throats, and
rumble ahead to, and you know, it's kind of weird when you think about that offensive face mask. We actually gained a yard on that.
we did.
When does that happen?
It's 15 from where they go out, where the play ends.
Oh, I do believe Quave Booker is down on the ground, which is not good for the Prexies. Folks, while he is down on the ground, we are going to take a quick commercial break with the Marion Harding High School Telecom production.
Go Prexies.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Haven't seen you around before. Are you new in the neighborhood?
Yeah. Haven't you heard about the new state law on yard waste bags?
No, I guess not.
Well, if yard waste is set out by the curb for pickup, state law requires residents to use a compostable bag, like me, or a large paper bag, or a hauler-provided cart. Plastic bags like you are now banned from curbside pickup.
All right, folks, and just like that, we are back. And I believe young Quave is okay. It's nothing serious. I think he pretty much just got the wind knocked out of him. And when you're running the ball, hey, those things happen. And we would be remiss not to mention Brock the Honey Badger Howard, a senior on the sidelines who's dealing with a little bit of injury himself, is on the sidelines rallying the troops and getting everybody excited.
Quave Booker's raising the roof, getting people excited.
There are 3 minutes and 20-some odd seconds left in the game and counting. A first down would go a long way here to helping the Prexies.
Setting up in a tight wing, try and get
And
that first
Noah
down, and we got it.
Horn,
How about
Fred
Thompson?
Squirts ahead for a first down.
This first down is sponsored by Verde Diablo, the new Harding mascot.
The demon bug of Presidential Avenue. All right, folks, the clock continues to tick. The Warriors have just one timeout, and you got to believe with a lead late in the ball game like this and the Warriors only having one timeout, we're going to see a steady dose of running the ball here. Looks like a little...
Interested to see what this laundry is.
And
holding.
There's some laundry thrown from the back end. Do believe some holding.
I tell you what, as crazy as this is, I mean, do you just take a knee? You take a knee on 1st and 20 and just worm the clock out, you know what I mean? That's, I don't know, it makes you almost wonder.
What was
crazy
that
strategies.
What was that in the Water Boy? They called that the Red Bow U offense, right? Where in order to neutralize the Water Boy,
right, took a knee.
Bobby Boucher, they took a knee. So the clock continues to run, and actually Ontario declines a penalty because really that would give the Prexies more downs to eat clock.
Hey, remember that time when the baby Bobby Boucher?
That's kind of a smart penalty decline there.
Yep, I agree.
Noah Thompson content to let the clock run down.
Probably Booker back in, gets a couple more yards. Gives us a what we call a 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6. A little long for 3rd, but what'd you say, Coach Kepler?
Yeah, now you run into this interesting situation here. Do you throw the ball, do something intermediate, and risk stopping the clock, or do you run the ball and hope for the best here, Coach Cameron?
And that's a great question. I tell you what, let's just be honest. We have not thrown the ball well tonight.
Well, and whatever we do here, we got to make sure we get this playoff so we do not stop the clock here with a delay of game. Come on.
And here we go.
Coach Brady calls a final timeout. Unfortunately, the Prexies have to stop the play clock, stop the game clock, and call a timeout to risk not hurrying a play and maybe getting nothing out of it and also losing yards. Because you got to believe after this play, Ontario is going to call a timeout anyways. So with what is 101 seconds on the clock, the Prexies are staring at a 21-17 lead with a 3rd and 7. 7 yards to hit pay dirt. 7 yards to get a first down. 7 yards to possibly seal this game.
Yeah, we got to make some plays here. Even if we do have to punt the ball away, they're going to have, if we run the ball, assuming, they're going to have roughly about a minute left with one timeout. And you're right, they probably will call a timeout. So they're going to have a minute 30, no timeouts. We got to guard the sidelines, no deep fades.
All right,
and the crowd's starting to come to their feet.
Freight train Frakers in the backfield.
What a gamble and what a play! What a gamble and what a play!
And I'm telling you what right now, that play with the way we've been running the ball, what a smart play.
Now,
that was nothing more than a bootleg, baby.
Now you take a knee because
Yeah.
they can't stop it. We do not need to run any more plays. That's it. That should be it time-wise.
Well, and Ontario has one timeout. And you
they're
know what,
not,
Coach Keplinger? Listen, we can't light the candles on the cake yet, but what we can talk about is up to this point for the Prexies, it ain't been easy and it ain't been pretty.
Yeah, no doubt. Those are three really late advantage this case, not necessarily playing from behind in the fourth quarter, but playing a really, really close game.
Well, and the thing that you gotta like about these young men, as I believe Ontario takes their final timeout, the thing you gotta like about these young men is it ain't been pretty, it ain't been easy, but these kids believe they can win.
Absolutely.
And that says something.
I tell you what, every team in the MOAC has a winning record going into tonight. Every team. This is probably some of the best football the MOAC has been seen in a long, long time. Maybe back to the days where Ridgedale had great football. That's when the MOAC was. It's really, really good right now. And to come out here and be 1-1 now in the MOAC and have this momentum, like you said, Coach Snyder, that's huge for these kids.
Well, and also too, you look at Ontario, they don't have as many guys on the sidelines as we do, but I'm going to tell you what right now, Ontario has some big kids, they have some great athletes. Pasante is a great athlete. Arnold's a great athlete. Their quarterback, number 5, is a great athlete, but sometimes you're good and sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're good and lucky. And tonight the Prexies were a little bit of both. They were really good. They played very well in stretches. They played not so well in stretches, but they capitalized on mistakes. And at the end of the day, when it comes to turning over the ball, they made less mistakes than Ontario did.
Like you said, the halftime adjustments had to be made, and you're absolutely right in what you just said, and we just made better ones. And I misspoke. Jonathan Aller is no longer in the MOAC. So we are currently 1-0 with the momentum. Going to Pleasant next week, and I know we're going to have a good game against them. They're looking for payback after we've beaten them 2 years in a row.
Well, folks, it ain't been pretty, it ain't been easy, man. But I'm going to tell you what right now, these young men are resilient, and they believe that they could win. And I'm going to tell you what, I got to give Ontario credit. They came in here, they played hard, and the Prexies pull it off. Coach Keplinger, give your thoughts on this game as we watch the young men shake their hands here in a victory.
I think, as you mentioned, going into half, right, the most important adjustments are made at halftime, and that's what good coaching staffs do. You shut down Arnold for the most part. You shut down the wide receiver number 11 almost entirely. You couldn't ask for anything better. We called on that defense to step up there at the end of the second quarter, and that they did. They answered the bell. So all in all, just a great team effort. You get another defensive score with Seth Tyler's scoop and score. The second in 2 weeks. You couldn't ask for anything better than that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cody Harris scores a touchdown on special teams. Seth Tyler scores a touchdown on defense. And Noah Cornbread Thompson scores on a quarterback sneak. Folks, it ain't been pretty, it ain't been easy, but I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to start calling these guys the cardiac kids because they just don't quit, and they continue to give me a heart attack week after week. Last week I was going crazy and crying because of the overtime win. This week I'm just proud of their resilience. So, folks, there were 3 of us tonight. We hope you enjoyed us, and we hope you have a great week. We're going to take a couple weeks off as we play some away games, but we'll be back here in a couple weeks. Please come out and watch the Prexies next week as they take on the Spartans of Pleasant at Spartan Stadium. As always, folks, be safe and
good night, everybody.
Go Prexies.